Hey guys, let's just say it's been a while, but luckily not nearly the amount of time as it was last time. I did keep my word that it wouldn't be as long, assuming that this recording ends up okay and that I edit and upload it more timely than last time. So in this episode, depending on how things go, I'm actually going to collect either 11 or 12 treasures, and this is just to even things out a little more, especially because the final episode would have to include the final parts of the game and just a couple extra stuff, and I don't want to make that go for too long. So that being said, let's get started with not this level. Actually, let's do the optional level first, because I usually get those out of the way. This is the green snake here. This is West 2. And it feels weird getting back into this. You know, I typically don't do a lot of planning for this kind of stuff. At best, sometimes I just have a couple, notes of things that I feel like I should talk about, and then sometimes end up doing that. In this particular case, I have a few, and I'm gonna wing the rest. But I did actually, just before starting this, I actually replayed, I played, all the 12 levels that I would potentially be doing for this video. As you can see here, that snake's in the pot now. And that'll help us, of course, but I should mention this first. Beyond this water gap is just one of those music note coins. I forget if I mentioned this. I don't think I did yet. If you touch these bats, and you'll become Vampire Wario. But he's not really that interesting. When you press B, you turn into a bat yourself. And I can't really explain, the flying here. There's something a little weird about the flying momentum. But it's okay, because it's not even required in this area yet. What we do need is the green key. And luckily, we don't need to fall like last time if we messed up one in the wrong door. I didn't mention how the snakes work. Pretty simple. You can go on their head, and after a couple seconds, they will spit fire. That can be used as one of the transformations, like the fire transformation, of course. But right now, I don't think there's a use for it. It's just a slight nuisance. And of course, we're gonna have to do one of these golf games. It's golf. We can get a hole-in-one if we get in the right side blue. No, I was supposed to just go for red. Okay. Well, good enough. Just ignore those graphical glitches. It's gonna be a thing. I'm pretty positive it wasn't a thing in the actual game. I'm quite sure of it, but it really doesn't affect much. It's just kind of like that not really soft lock from last episode. It's not really important. I probably should have mentioned, last time I brought up how my side quest definition was relying on optional things to get to more optional things. Technically, for this level, once we grew the seeds and got the wheels for this cart in this room, that was required to get the blue gem in this level, which is further below. This is also needing the wheels to have been collected to actually get to this point, to that snake in the first place. But I don't know, maybe that dependency should have considered that. but you do have to do it later anyway. So I decided not to really care. And the optional item we get is this pink crown that kind of looks like upside down udders. Like with a jewel in the middle. There's something about that just looks off. Looks rounder than a crown has any right to be. Yeah, my controller's also acting up. It's seeing a lot of up inputs where there shouldn't be. Anyway, the next stage we need to get is N2, the Peaceful Village. We're back here at night. I don't actually remember if we ever came here in the day. It doesn't really matter, though, because the time of day won't affect anything. You'll see up here, we enter this house. We can't go any higher. But we did eat something from a guy off screen, which I did not know that was possible, and that's kind of awesome. Yeah, let's work it off. And we need to actually... yeah, whatever. We need to get on this snake here, which is not red. It's very clearly not red, but I guess the map screen only had a certain amount of colors they could use. We go in this hole here. We get forced into one of these musical notes coins. But now we actually get above the place where we just were. So we can fall down here. That was not enough to fall down here. That is really obnoxious. Whee. Yeah, sometimes the placement of enemies, I've mentioned this in the last episode, sometimes they can be a bit dickish. I know that's kind of the point because it's a game where you can't really lose a life by any conventional means, so they had to make some way to make the game hard, but some of these come off as kind of dickish and trial and error-y. Anyway, that's the red key. For like the 5th time already. Let's get rid of that zombie. And let's climb up here. Alright, avoid that guy. Avoid this other guy. Is there a 3rd guy? Yeah. And now we're above this, this thing that you can't go up from the other side. This door right here is open, but we can't do anything about that yet. Also interesting to note, it only opens at night. But again, it's not important right now. This guy here. We need to break some blocks up above where he is. So let's jump on the ground while we're heavy, to sort of push him up on these platforms. Then jump up while we're slimmer. And now we can eat from up here. I think that's a pretty cool puzzle. I like that. Because it shows off, like, a small quirk of the ability. Like, the ability to push the enemies around. So in this chest, we get reading. We get the blue magic book. I'm still not really gonna care looking these things up to see what they're actually called. I'm planning to do that in the final episode and just do, like, a credits crawl of all the different item names. Let's just quickly skip here. Get to the supposed blue snake. Like, it's even a light blue, but clearly that's not even close. I don't know if you can be fast enough to get that on, like, a cycle without having to wait here. Careful of this bird right here. You can just duck. Also be careful of these guys. Let's get in the door quickly. We want to jump on top of these blocks, but they fall. And we're trying to get just below there. Nice, first try. Okay, so this will take you out to that bottom door right after the snake, so that's not important. What is important are bubbles. You get trapped in a bubble, and until you touch a ceiling or the surface of the water, you will float up uncontrollably. Yeah, okay. You gotta be really careful around in some of these sections. They're not particularly difficult to dodge, I find. For some reason, I don't think that one... Yeah, that one wasn't spawning. You have just enough space to where it's not, like, the end of the world. But with that... That's the third part of S1. It kind of looks like a flower, doesn't it? It's not. It is a magic wand that we combine with the magic book and, I don't know, some kind of ice wand, I guess. So in E2 we got a new level, the Frigid Sea. You know, I think it's kind of funny that just, like, the game is sort of structured like a Megalovania. Did I just say a Megalovania? Oh my god. A Metroidvania. I am sorry. This game is structured like a Metroidvania in that you have to go back for items. Like once you get new abilities and stuff. And even when other items just unlock more parts of the level. But I find it kind of interesting that you don't have to backtrack very much. Like, in the level, sure, that's one thing. But, like, it's not like the whole place is just one big, like, interconnected world. You can just go from, like, the North 1 to S3 or something. Anyway, right there, you can see, yeah, we're on the wrong side for this key. Well, it looks like it's just in the middle of nowhere. But we can't break any of these areas. So I could have saved a bit of time doing this at first, but I wanted to point out just how the game teases you a lot. It tends to do that. It just tells you, hey, you're in the wrong spot, but either way, it looks like you would be in the wrong spot anyway. This doesn't look possible to get. But unsurprisingly, I mean, we have to beat the game, and they designed a game you could beat. So it is possible, it just looks like it's not. I think that's fairly clever, even though there's nothing technically delineating that you could break those blocks. I don't think it matters that much, because it's not like you figure you can't get that yet. It looks literally impossible, and we usually get the gray chest first anyway, so it seems pretty likely that we can get that key some way. Anyway, right now, we get the spiky helmet. You can break blocks above you. No, you can break blah. In fact, it's so powerful, you can break those, like, non-cracked blocks. So now we're getting somewhere. Now these power-ups are starting to really open things up. Really quick, one of the things that opens up is West 1. This is the wrong time of day. Of course, that barely matters, and what's even funnier is that there's a point later where you get an item that makes it seem like it's such a hassle to change the time of day, when it's not at all. It's rather absurd, but, like, I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm not really making sense, so it'll make sense eventually. Anyway, we come in here at night, break the top here, and guess what it's time for? Another mini game. Hooray for golf. This is even better than the Mario Golf Super Rush? Whatever, I don't know, I haven't actually played it. I don't exactly plan on it either. It just seems like a very average-looking game, and I've heard that there's not great amount of content in it, and like, I don't know, there's a whole big thing with like how the online community is just sort of divided, not really interested anymore, and they kind of flubbed it up. Something like that. I don't know, I'm not the game journalist expert guy that you go to, assuming you go to someone like that in the first place. Here's a secret block you can break. There's a bit more here, but just for extra stuff. Anyway, there's the chest. But, yeah, we can't get to it. But we can break out of this. But it's only a one-way when you break it. That they use that one-way trick a lot, where it's like, you can break it from one side, but from the other side, you can't break blocks while ducking, so you can't really crawl and break blocks. Oh. That's right, we need one of the caterpillars thing. The caterpillars things. Yeah, that was a sentence. So let's just exit and re-enter. And cocoon me. Or whatever this is. String shot me. It's not really obvious at all that that thing can be broken that way unless you get hit by accident. Though, to be fair, it is not too difficult to get hit by accident, so... I don't know. It's one of those weird design things that, like... A player is most likely to encounter that kind of thing just by complete accident. But in the case that the player is too good, they actually might be missing important information that would normally come to you by complete accident. So, I don't know how to stand on that when it comes to game design and how good or bad that is. We get another useless crayon. It's quite unremarkable, like the golf extra thing. It is cool, though, that we can see that purple in the middle. Really nice looking, actually. I do like that shade of purplish, pinkish, whatever. The other place is the actual required area. And, you know what? Normally you're supposed to go in the door right above me. I'm gonna save a bit of time, because this is actually a big reason why I'm thankful that I did a test playthrough of these first little bit of levels. Don't go there first. These, the blocks, they're down. We need to hit the switch that flips them. And there's no good way of doing it other than, like, this one here. I think it's faster at this point to fall down here and push this thing rather than going back in the door up there and then pushing the other cauldron. This one just seems a bit like a shorter route. I could be wrong, but it just feels that way. Anyway, this is the door that I was trying to get into. Well, I wasn't trying to, but I need to. Alright. That guy's a bit of a pest. Now that we've undone these blocks, we can get the red key and head out. And use the shortcut, of course. Gotta save those frames. I actually have no idea. It looks faster. Like, even though the animation takes a while, it's gotta be faster than, like, going all the way around that one part at the top of the room there. These bears can be really annoying when they push you. There's one part of that a bit later in this episode we'll go over. Anyway, we can break that You gotta go around the zombies, not get touched by the zombies. That was not very smart of me. Kinda wish I could be Brute on fire and just get out of this. This is so slow. Okay. I think bumping into that guy just canceled out the unzombify animation. And, like, then I touched the light again? Something like that? That was interesting. Alright, we got another attempt at this. And an attempt of... you know, it really is just about going slow, because you can just duck under it. But, like, the second a zombie catches you off guard and just gets in your way, it can be really obnoxious. This time I actually want to get hit by the zombie, to fall through the last one here, and go out this door. Warning, this boss can be quite obnoxious, especially if you really don't know what you're doing. It's a soccer game. This bunny here will try to crush you and turn you into a ball. If that happens, he'll try to kick you into the goal here. You can see this, this turtle. You can hit him and he stays down for a little bit, but only a little bit. If you end up getting hit into a ball, the turtle will not even attempt to stop you from going in. Which is really obnoxious, because if you do this to the rabbit, sometimes he'll do that. So you can sort of hit the turtle and, like, hope that he stays down long enough. But I like to, if you time it just right and jump and sort of hit the rabbit from the side, you can hit him at just the right angle so that he goes over the turtle every time. But it is kind of a precise thing to do. It's not, like, horribly precise, but it just is weird. It feels, like, a little more specific than it needs to be. Yeah, and he does that more often than not. Well, looks like this will be the game. Alright. I want to get to the other side of you, please, sir. Yes! That is a creepy-ass rabbit, I gotta tell you. Now, as, I guess, karma for not going on your side, the turtle acts as the platform. You know what? I have no sympathy. That guy is just an asshole. And we get music box number 2. So we're well on our way there. We are like 40% of the music boxes. If we go in percentage of 5. I really like the music box sounds. If you really listen closely and you compare it to the last music box, you'll notice that they're a little different in the little tune that they have. I think all of them have slightly different tunes that they play when you get them. I don't think they make out a song or anything if you put them all together or if you put one after the other. I think it's just supposed to be that they have different sounds to them, which I think is a nice little detail. Anyway, it's got 2 more levels in the north section, which we haven't visited. We haven't really prominently been here for that long in a while. And right away, here's the gray chest. This one is a pretty quick level. You just get to the end up top. avoid the hazards. By the way, these things at the bottom, they look like little urchins, I guess. If you touch them, you inflate, and you go above the water. You actually want to follow the current on the way back here, because you can't make it back on foot. You want to slow yourself down, you can just hold back and mash B. Simple order is go up, down, and then up again. Excuse me? Excuse me? Something completely pushed me upward in the water that I think that's my controller. I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen, but I might need a new controller. Or just use another one. Something, I don't know. Oh, no, the water does just push you upward, like, on its own. It's gonna happen again. Don't do it again. By the way, here, there's this, thing, and a door. Can't even remotely reach that yet, so... In the meantime, let's just get the gray chest. We get, I don't know, Poseidon's Trident. It's a pretty badass trident, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, on its own, it does nothing. But going to North 5, the Tidal Coast. I don't know if we've specifically heard this song before, but I really like this one. Something interesting here. You'll notice this this floating door. That just doesn't look possible at all. Do you have to exit out of it, I guess? Interestingly, no. This is a weird mechanic specific to this level, but during the night, the tide will be higher, so this rock I'm standing on will rise up towards the door. We don't need it, luckily, right now, but we do need to get up here. It just seems like a really out-of-nowhere mechanic. I mean, like, the day-night cycle in general, like, is just kind of... It feels a little superfluous, considering how easy it is to change from day to night. It just seems like you can enter a level, but then just because you got it the wrong time of day, you have to restart all your progress. They're not too bad on this, and, like, they don't make you go through, like, a million different hoops for some of the really more obnoxious levels, and then right at the end just say, whoops, you can't finish it. Usually they'll tell you early on, but it still seems unnecessary. That was a pretty cool extra fire path there. Come on. I really do like that that extra challenge of having to go all the way through the fire for that. And with that, we get more reading. This is the yellow magic book, I guess. Put the yellow magic book and the trident, which I guess is some kind of, like, water wand. Or it's a thunder wand, I guess. That really caused a big chasm there. And just proof of concept here. You can see some of these platforms are a little under the ground. And if we go here, we'll see, yeah, that this stone has indeed risen. Kind of silly. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of that, again, because of just random day-night stuff in general in this game. That doesn't seem necessary. But also, it's not really obvious at all. It's not the worst. We first start off this level by trying to beat that water current that's going all the way back to the very beginning. Which is not uncommon of a theme of going all the way back to the beginning of a level if you fuck up in this game. As you have probably noticed by now. Just want to break that one extra block. It's bothering me. There are these water hands that are just like the sand hands from West 1. As you can see, I fell in. It seems pretty bad. But if you just hold right and tap A, like tap, 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 you can, I don't know, if you're fast enough, you can just get through there fine. It's honestly, I don't know if it's an oversight or if it's just, like, you just have to realize what to do if you mess up. I don't know. Regardless of whether it was developer intended, I think it's kind of neat. This right here. One last thing that's getting in our way. There's this guy here. There's a platform off to the left that we can just reach if we start rolling. There's also a frog. We don't want to be stopped by the frog, so we need to actually jump over it. So right away, as soon as you fall off of this platform here, you gotta jump. So fall, jump, 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 and stop. And there you go. If you notice, there were a few holes there, and if you fall in those holes, it's back to an earlier point in the level, which, let's be fair, that's also kind of a dick move. But with that, we get, I guess we'll call it the Power Glove. It's so bad. And we're 5 out of 10 for the power-ups in this game. Well, I guess the first one is just your basic moveset. With this one, we can pick up small items and enemies. If we see these blocks here, we can break them. Some of them aren't marked, but enough of them are to where it feels like a pattern. You'll also notice there, if you hold B, the enemy will be shot out in front of you. I don't know if the demo said this directly. I don't know if some parts of the game say this directly, but you can also hold up and charge with B if you want to send them really high upward. Well, we got 9 treasures so far. I think what I'm going to do is get 2 more optional ones that are used with the glove. And instead of ending it at 11 there, I'll end it at 12 by getting the next required item. I don't know. I feel like I do want to put a less of a load on the later, like, episodes of this series. I think it's only fair. As we can see, this one's a pretty obvious use of the throwing small enemies mechanic that we just unlocked. That's annoying. This is an also pretty obvious area. We want to get rid of these bears. They are good at getting in the way. Not just right now, but also later. And by later, I mean now. This rock right here, we can actually pick up. And we can bring here. If we go in this door, we will find the red key. Just avoid the annoying slipperiness in these birds. I'd say the birds are more annoying than the ice physics, honestly. Anyway, now the bears are back. We gotta deal with them again. Especially the ones on the left, where it's sort of inconvenient for me to go out of my way and kill them right now. I'll just deal with them as I'm holding the rock, which is not a good idea. Self. Alright, let's just be careful so I don't have the rock tap any other blocks. Because it's not just for show that Wario's holding stuff above his head. Even if Wario can fit... phone. I don't know if I should just wait for that to shut up. It's a good use of my time. Any day now. Any day you can quit. You can quit any day. Anyway, if you'll notice, Wario has it above him and just a little in front. It's very subtle, but you can't stand flush with any kind of wall while you're holding something if it's going to interfere with its hitbox. It's a bit finicky, if I'm being honest, because it's just in an awkward position where it's like, you know, it's not just above him, but anyway, you really gotta watch out whenever you're carrying these kind of objects. Also, if you duck, as I did accidentally while waiting for the phone to stop, you can drop these things. Quite obnoxious. I'm trying to get as close as I can to this wall without standing flush with it. I think this is good enough. Something the game is not very good at. If you'll notice, I'm gonna just, you know, hold B here to charge my throw with this object. It should go 2 blocks up from the ground, and then it'll go along the 3rd layer. It goes straight until it doesn't. That's the short answer. You'd think it would just go perfectly straight given this trajectory here. It does not. It stops a couple blocks in before just giving up and then, like, hitting the side of the wall awkwardly, or, like, falling down at that point. Something to keep in mind. You need to get really close whenever you're charging your throws sometimes. Now right here, these blocks are snowman blocks, as you can plainly see. Another transformation we have is getting covered in snow. Now you might think that the solution here, once you figure out how the snow works, is to get up on this little slope right here and slide down it, the snowball. It actually doesn't work, and the reason why is, if you notice, these are dark purple. There are lighter purple snowman blocks that allow you to break them at any stage in the snowball animation, but these darker ones, they will only break if you're all the way in, like, the highest, like, the biggest snowball part. I don't think there are any lighter snowball blocks in this level, or snowman blocks. But they'll appear later. Anyway, with this secret room, we can actually charge up the snowball enough to get the high state and get through here. Kind of a weird mechanic. It's a little strange and not very obvious. Let's just say I'm kind of glad it's not in the next game, from what I remember. Yeah, it's definitely not. We got a little golden kettle. This is just another optional item that doesn't serve any purpose. Just for more treasure. The big bridge. You remember this this barrel here? Jump, 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 jump. Okay, perfect. This barrel here, we can actually we can just stand flush with this wall because nothing's blocking its hitbox. If you notice, that the barrel shouldn't have broken there, but it actually fell a little after I threw it, which is what I mentioned about, like, the trajectory being off. There's another minigame. More golf. Hooray. But for the time being, let's actually get the green key for this level. We go down here. We can see blocks that you can kill enemies, like you can throw enemies at on the other side of this, which is, I guess, a little hint that you can do that. Again, you see, he didn't go all the way through, but he did break all the blocks, so that's at least something. And hilariously, you can break everything but this last one, which requires you to have ducked under it or used an enemy. So that's another great example of forcing you to duck through an obstacle on one side, but not on the other. Anyway, let's deal with that minigame. Dear Lord. Yeah, see, this is a good reason why bears should be illegal. Just the animal. They put you in such a narrow passageway with just those two little openings. Again, kind of a dick move. Can you go through here? You cannot. I question this purpose, but it might give you a coin, I guess. So, purpose given, I guess. As you can see, I'm now paying 30 coins for this minigame. Some levels will have you pay more. And, yeah. It can be kind of obnoxious. I think I failed this one, because I got it in the rough. Yeah. I think I could have salvaged that if I did it right, but I did not do it right. Time to waste another 30 coins. Getting real pricey. Okay. That's good. That is not good. Okay. Okay. Yes! Oh, okay. I'm so happy about that one. Damn. Alright. Minigame clear. Gone. We didn't even have to waste that many tries. Just one failed attempt. And we can get what I have in my notes written down as Pikachu. That's not exactly what it is. I don't even know why I wrote it down that way. But it does look like a Game Boy, doesn't it? This is the Pocket Pet. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of, like, Game Boy / Pokemon reference. Maybe it's a Pocket Pikachu. Anyway, completely useless. It is gold, though, which is very shiny. And now, for the final item in the game. Yeah, it's the final item in the game. Final item in this episode. Let's go to the Tidal Coast. This is not actually the area where we need the tide to be high at night either. Completely unrelated. These giant blocks, we'll get back to one day. This is what we need. I think that's probably the easiest guy to go for, one of these guys. There we go. Let's get that red key. So you can see we can't go through these currents, I suppose. These random underwater currents that don't have any kind of, like, apparent beginning or end to them. They just kind of start at random places. So we're gonna need to get through these blocks here. In fact, we're gonna have to break a fairly large passageway so we can get through. You might be wondering why I need such a large place. Well, we can't swim up the current. Yeah, we can't even go up, even though we're automatically going up in the water. So we need to get... if it works. We need to get in one of these bubbles and travel up here through the current, because bubbles ignore the current. That is a very interesting detail that you'd really have to think outside the box for, because it's something, again, that you'd probably find by accident, but it does make sense in a way. It's another kind of, like, you can't control it kind of transformation, and it just so happens that you need to use it to get through an even more problematic area. Anyway, let's finish up this level, and by extension, the episode. So, there we go. Alright. And we gotta get kind of close, but not flush with the wall. There we go. Last one. There we go. I sense danger afoot, for we have unlocked a foot. I'm sorry. We have unlocked Giant Foot Rock. What do? We throw it up in the air, smashes down on the ground, and we broke some walls in 2 areas of the game. Because it was such a massive tremor, I suppose. Oh, 3 areas of the game. Yeah, no, this one unlocks a lot, actually. Anyway, guess that'll be it for this episode. So, thanks for watching. About that subscriber special, I am planning on doing that. I might have to do a bit of a smaller subscriber special in the meantime, and I might reserve that for a larger one, the bigger project I'm thinking of. It really depends on what ends up working out there. I am really grateful, and I do want to at least do some kind of project. Maybe I'll do a community post once I really get in, like, the right mindset to do this stuff. But I am glad I'm getting more of Wario Land 3 done. So with that, thanks for watching, guys.